So let's give a big hand to Doug Jeffries.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning. My name's Doug Jeffries, and I want to welcome you to the Reader's Digest version of Enhancing Your Presentation Skills, and also to warn you that after today, you're never going to be able to look at another presenter or be able to sit through another presentation in quite the same way. Some of you might be familiar with this list. This actually comes from the Book of Lists, 1977. But when humans are asked what's the thing they're most afraid of? Since they've been asking this question, actually speaking before a group always filters to the top. It is humans' number one fear. And there's good reasons for that. But it's very interesting when you look at some of these other fears here. You look at speaking before a group, 41% of all people say it's their number one fear. And you come down insects and money. And then you get down to death at 19%. See that? Seinfeld actually said of this list, it suggests that at a funeral, the person giving the eulogy would rather be in the box. To impart any new information to people, to a group, you first have to make them comfortable. Nobody listens to anything unless all their basic needs are taken care of. And you know this to be true, right? Sit in the audience, if you're cold, if you're hot, you're thinking about that. If the program's been going on too long and you're hungry or you're thirsty, you're thinking about that. If your bladder's full, that's number one priority. Number one priority is when is this going to be over so I can hit the restroom, correct? And that's what happens. So anything you do to make an audience feel uncomfortable gets them thinking about something other than your program. You, the speaker, and every individual in the audience have to be on the same page, on the same wavelength every step of the way. You can't give them any reason to be thinking of things other than your message. Unfortunately, most of the behaviors that speakers engage in send audience members off on what we call journeys of self-discovery. Most of the time, we're just shipping you off from the dock saying, hey, have a great time. There's all kinds of things you can discover on your own. Let me back up here. Would you not agree that in Western cultures, we tend to associate eye contact with veracity? Yes? If we want to know if somebody's telling the truth, we ask them to look us in the eye. Did you take that last cookie from the cookie jar? Look me in the eye. Tell me, did you take that last cookie? We expect people to look us in the eye. We associate eye contact with telling the truth, with the possible exception of presidents of the United States. It's very difficult for humans to just look someone in the eye. I did not, and lie. And lie. We don't do it very well. In order to get your audience to really take in what you have to say, you've got to learn to stop talking. Stop talking long enough for them to ingest that last thing you said, get a picture of it, try to put it into a context that they know before moving on to the next thing you're going to say. The pause is absolutely the most important thing you can do. One of the most common things you see, we have the key changer, and again, men probably more than women are more comfortable when they have their hands in their pockets. Johnny Carson used to have his hand in his pocket. Is anybody old enough to remember Johnny Carson? Okay. And he would often talk like this, had one hand in his pocket. Fortunately, Johnny Carson is a great example of, and when I told you before, you'll never look at a presenter in the same way again. The problem is that all the rules that we talk about, all the ways to do things right, are often broken by people who can. Those people who can break rules because they have what we don't, and that's called charisma. Do that. But the point is, hands in your pockets are not a great thing. First of all, if you notice this, if I were to shake my pockets, notice that you don't hear anything. Often when somebody's shaking the pocket, the audience is going, hey, it sounds like a couple quarters, dime. See? He's got about 85 cents in there, I think. What do you think? So if I were to shake mine, you wouldn't hear anything, because as a professional, what I do is I empty my pockets before speaking. But again, the problem is that you need to have as much air under your wings as possible. So you try to talk about getting sales up, getting our costs down, bring the whole company, bring them all together. You limit the impact of what you can say when you have your hands in your pockets. Bill Clinton used to speak like this. All the time he was governor, all the time he ran for office, he would speak like this. And as effective as he was, this was a problem. They could never get him to stop doing this total motion, so what they did is they got him to bring his finger in like this, lock it down with his thumb. Now, I did not have relations with that woman, that Monica Lewinsky. Podiums go back to an era back when people were considered orators, and they were separated from the audience. And that's what a podium does. Think about this. This is my little castle, isn't it? This is mine. I've got this turret here where I can fire off stuff at you all. But I'm protected, you know. If you're going to hit me, I've got this. The name of the second slide. Let's talk a bit about the history of our firm. We're very proud about our history. It started back in 1920. These two guys, Harry and Bill, came together. They had a great idea. Blah, 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 talking on. And what happens is for the first 15 minutes of a presentation, we talk about, oh, that's right. First we start out, because we're working with that old adage, tell them how you're going to bore them, and tell them how you bored them, right? That's the agenda slide. Then we get into the history of our company, because I have to tell you all about our company. And you understand that well, you're very proud about your company. You might even be proud about the fact that you're number one in your area. We're the number one company out there. In fact, we have so many, we are number one, meaning that if you go with us as a customer, you're going to mean much less to us than you would to any one of our competitors, okay? Because we're the biggest one out there. Last year, we saw profits increase by 25%. We took everybody else's money. This year, we're after yours. You want to end it, and if you can tie it back to the beginning, who here is going to go out today and not look at a presenter in the same way again? Thanks. Thank you.